I can't speak for anybody else, but maybe I can surmise that no one had a great weekend knowing that this debate was coming up. But so during the time that the referendum was, after the authorization was given, and then the pamphlets were going out saying details of the different projects, and then the referendum itself actually happened, which was in November of 2016. During this time of year, over the holidays, on the backside of that, coming out of the holidays, there was a pre-budget retreat, if you'll remember, on a Saturday morning. And I'll never forget it because that was the first time I had heard that we were bound to do the projects as had been specified in the pamphlets of Public Works. Was that epiphany you going to the attorney or the attorney going to you? How did that unfold?
I don't know that I can answer that. What I can tell you is that at the time we were going through the process, especially around the time when I was holding the town hall meetings and going through the education process, I never thought to ask the question that we later then asked. And I never received the advice that I remember receiving later, which was about whether in fact we were bound by some greater set of handcuffs than simply the fact that that we dealt with when we were trying to deal with the approval of the IGA itself, which certainly felt like a set of handcuffs. But as it relates to the legal advice we later received, that we've referred to a number of times this evening and in prior discussions, I honestly don't have a recollection of exactly how all that came out. But I don't remember proactively seeking it. I remember receiving it. And I guess the attorney may have a better and clearer recollection of that.
And so, yeah, I guess I would ask, I mean, at what point did you have the notion that, it was important to say that, hey, we are bound and we don't have discretion?
I was looking back through the dates of the memorandums that I sent. I think it was in response to a question posed by a council member. And that earliest memo, I believe, was, I think there was one before May 17th. There's a June 20th, 2016 memo. So it was in response to an inquiry from a council member.
In June of 2016?
Is the first.
So in June of 2016, the referendum had not passed.
Nope.
And so you're saying that you had advised the council that we would be bound by the pamphlets and the drawings?
No.
No, the original inquiry at that point was a constitutional inquiry.
Right, that was about the IGA.
And that was about the IGA.
Yeah, I think I did that one.
Okay.
May 2017 would have been the second memo.
So May 2017 was well after that pre-budget retreat. And so again, I'm just trying to figure out exactly when did we go from thinking that we had discretion to zero discretion.
So I guess I'd like a follow-up question, if I may. So, Mayor, I was going to ask you this question, and it sounds like you answered it. During that process, Councilmember Zabrowski and I believe Councilmember Gray, the three of us were trying to get involved in those discussions, and we were specifically asking to be involved. And
which discussions?
All those town halls, and the city manager continued to tell us those are the mayor's town halls, and we were concerned about the messaging. And I wanted to know, did you run that messaging through legal? Because in essence, you were selling the city. It's like selling a stock in an IPO. You were selling to the city to invest in the city based on a message.
Councilwoman, that's your interpretation.
Can I finish? Please, let me finish. When folks that are working with C-level boards, they know that you have to get that messaging through legal. So you're saying you did not submit that information to ensure that the messaging to sell that product was reviewed by legal?
Councilwoman, I don't prepare my own presentations. The material that I used and the messages that I conveyed were reviewed. Of course, they didn't review the words I actually said as I was saying them. It's not like they were on a 20-second delay. The purpose of my education was to do just that, education. It wasn't to promote a vote one way or the other. And you may interpret it differently, but that's the legal confines that we were under.
That's not what I'm saying.
Mr. Mayor?
What I'm saying is when you're...
Look,
can
we're
I please
straying
let me-
away from the actual
No, I
vote
think
here.
this is
If you
critical
all
to
want
the
to put me under
discussion.
investigation and have an inquiry at a later date, but it is not germane. Excuse me, I'm running the meeting. I've been polite tonight up until now. You all are observing the meeting. We are now in our meeting, and I'm going to ask you kindly to stay quiet for the remainder of this meeting. You'll have an opportunity for public comment in just a few moments.
Mr. Mayor, please do not do any emotional outbursts because we are in a police headquarters.
Councilman, I'm going to remind you that we have a motion on the table. We've now run a little far astray from the motion. Would you like to call the question, or is there more debate on the motion?
No.
I have one more question.
No.
Councilman Coughlin.
So, if we would proceed with the 5-lane project and
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't classify anything that was been in any of the concepts as a 5-lane concept. It's
What
a
would you
4-lane,
call a
may
center
have
median?
medians and turn lanes, but it wasn't a straight-up suicide lane, which would be a 5-lane.
But it's still, they're still having traversed 3 to 4 lanes to get
In
across.
certain sections, you would have 2 lanes plus a turn lane.
But we haven't done
on
the
a limited
concept
basis.
design, so how can you say certain sections would be?
Well, I'm saying from previous designs that they've had on the concept, this concept's not anything new.
well, okay, let me step back.
But I guess what I'm trying to say is that we have not proposed, or I've not seen anything that looks like a 5-lane concept, in my opinion.
Okay, so
A
hypothetically,
4-lane is what we're looking at.
if we go with a 5-lane concept or a 3-lane concept, what is the legal risk? It is completing the project, and so if you would do 5 lanes, it would be ripping up a lane and completing the project to just 4 lanes. Is that the risk? The legal risk is just to put 4 lanes there?
The legal risk is that you may have to go back and do the project, which would involve some expense in tearing up a previously constructed project to put in what?
Or adding a lane?
Or adding a lane. It could be refunding SPLOST money with general fund dollars if a project is done with SPLOST dollars that doesn't qualify.
Gotcha.